Hey guys, welcome to the Next Stop Wildlife Show. I'm Wayne Caveman Keys and this is the beautiful Nurraginji Reserve. And last night we had a massive storm. There was just a huge amount of rain, lightning, the rain was going sideways, and this whole place, well, almost all of it, probably 3/4 of it, just went underwater, and a torrent of current that was running through here. So I always come down here to the local park and check out how everything's fared. And you probably can't see behind me here, but the world famous log, it's actually underwater at the moment. There's a little tiny piece on the top showing. So it was actually suspended out of the water, and this is actually not a part of Eastern Creek, but it flows all through the park, and all of these low-lying basins, the wetlands and sections like that, they're absolutely flooded and they're flushed out during this period. It's a natural part of the eco system and the way it works, and it's actually quite healthy. But also there's a toll. Some of the terrestrial animals, the ones that live along the ground, they are subjected to some of the most horrific conditions, especially the snakes. I mean, they can swim, but when they're confronted with a torrent of water just rushing through, they really struggle to keep their heads above the water. So we'll go and check out what we can find today on the next stop, and we'll be looking mostly for terrestrial animals. I mean, the birds, they suffer a little bit in the storms, but mostly when the floods come like this, it's the terrestrial animals. So let's go and check out our Nurraginji's fared today on the next stop, folks. This fella. Look at this fella. Whee! It's an eastern brown snake. He's not messing around, this guy. Whee! He's having a good go. Next stop, we've got a gorgeous red belly, and I'm hoping that he hasn't got the same attitude that that brown snake had. He wanted to take chunks out of me. The red bellies are quite placid. You can see the behaviour. They're not skittish at all. He's hunting for frogs down here in the undergrowth. And, Snake Alley, just turned it on from word go today. The terrestrials seem okay. Meanwhile, at the world famous log at Nurraginji, got a couple of Sydney Basin short-necked turtles here. One on the right, he's massive, and there was quite a bit of rain last night, so you can see the log's almost underwater, the world famous log. As it happens, we suffer from flash floods here because of Eastern Creek, and yeah, definitely put a fair bit of water into this area. Not much basking area now on the world famous log. And here's another terrestrial animal that's survived without any problems whatsoever. And they're an aquatic species, so they have no trouble at all during the flooding times down here at Nurraginji. And another magic aquatic species down here, we've got a huge sawshell turtle, and it's good to see this guy out and about basking, and he's in the pond area where the log is, so he's got a lot of protection here. And the water does flow through here, but this guy, he's well used to the flooding, and he's pulled up, no worries whatsoever. And this guy's got to be one of the biggest sawshell turtles I've ever seen. It's got a massive head, it is humongous. I call this guy Herman the Humongous. He is massive, and is a little bit out of his range, but yeah, he's a part of Nurraginji now. And I actually seen him one day with a cockatoo's leg hanging out of his mouth that he'd no doubt scavenged from around the bank here somewhere. Awesome looking turtle. Next stop, let's see what we can spot. Oh, it's a mad water skink. Another terrestrial but semi-aquatic species. They're not fully aquatic, not like the eastern water dragon, but they can certainly hold their own in the water, that's for sure. So another terrestrial species that doesn't seem too bothered. We've got 2 snakes out so far and an assortment of reptiles. So I couldn't be happier with how the day's panning out so far. A lot of terrestrial animals that are coming out and having a feed after the massive flood last night. Really great to see. A little eastern water dragon, beautiful. And our own master of disguises has pulled up okay the day after the storm. Luckily they're not nesting at the moment because the storms are the worst things. They build some flimsy nests, the tiny frog mouths, and they often get blown away by the wind. This guy can hardly even notice he's up there. And just amazing, that camouflage. Beautiful. It's a lace monitor. Not a bad size, this one either. Climbing up the tree here. How mad's this? See if I can unhinge me. Varanus varius, the lace monitor for the Cumberland. On a big ironbark tree. Good sized reptile, this guy. And you can see they're not that shy. So I'm creeping in on him. And he doesn't really care too much. Look at the size of him. Okay, slowly creep in. You just never know what these guys will do. They can explode on the spur of the moment. But looks like he's going to make his way up the tree a little bit more. Not showing too much urgency, that's for sure. And that's because he's the king of the Cumberland, the apex predator out here. He doesn't care. Massive animal. Those claws just dig into the ironbark so easily. What a regal animal these guys are. Absolutely regal animal. No other animal on earth, a reptile lizard that climbs trees like these guys. They are spectacular. And off he goes, up into the distance. So beautiful, these lace monitors. In one short day, and a big storm, you can see here, the wetland section down at Narrabeen has got water again. It's a part of the park's beauty. Of course, today we come down to explore the park and just see how it fared after the flash flood, because we're prone to flash floods down here because of Eastern Creek and the low-lying wetland sections. But it's a part of the natural ecology, and it's why it's such a beautiful place and ever evolving. So the plant species here, they'll probably die off and they'll have to wait till the next period of time when the water level's just right and the season's just right. So amazing out here, and the park bounces back very fast after these massive flash floods. Half the park was underwater yesterday, so amazing. Next stop, we've got a beautiful Eastern Rosella, and he's feeding up in the Acacia Mernseye, which is a black wattle, and a very popular tree, not just with the birds but with the gliders as well. So the gliders like to feed on all of the sap that exudes from these beautiful black wattles. They're a sap tree, so they attract so many different types of insects, birds and gliders. They're one of the most important trees out in the Cumberland Plains. You can see this guy's really enjoying just having a bit of a feed on the foliage. Amazing animals, they really are. I love the Eastern Rosella. You're always assured you've got a good chance of spotting an Eastern Rosella down at Narrabeen. A lot of the nest boxes are taken up with these guys. They've adapted to the nest boxes. There's a fair few hollows down here, but there's never enough hollows, so it's the importance of nest boxes. You see him just hiding amongst the Mernseye foliage. Likes to get those little suiting beans off the Mernseye. There's a lot of nutrition in those little seed pods.
Yeah, one of my favourite birds, definitely. So all around the creek system and the pond system, all the terrestrials and the birds as well seem to have coped very well. And this guy is having an absolute field day. The black wattle, one of the most important plants out on the Cumberland, without a doubt. There's the Botany Bay weevil and a few other creatures which are exclusive to this plant. So good to see. There's plenty of Moonseye down here at Nurra. And we're seeing another beautiful eastern water dragon just on the side of the track here, doing a bit of hunting. It's patchy sun today, on and off, which is a perfect day to go and explore your park, really, because when it gets too hot you won't get many animals out. But today's been a bottler. We've had heaps of animals out, and some of them friendly, some of them not so friendly. Well, that eastern brown, they are a cheeky little bugger, those things. And crikey, did I jump back, when he struck at me. He was close, that bugger, and he knew it. Big double strike. We might head off down the track and see what else we can find on the next stop. Leave old Buffhead here to find some food. Next stop, another one of the locals. He's out here getting the food and enjoying the day, and it doesn't seem like the storm's upset this guy too much. And the birds would have copped a bit of punishment. The wind was like absolutely sideways yesterday, and he looks fine, this guy. Looks ready to roll and get out and hunt for some food. And the chicks have recently fledged, and off he goes to his next stop. And there is his next stop, not far from me. He's a beautiful, beautiful bird. The sacred kingfishers of Nurraginji. And we've got plenty of sacreds and plenty of azure kingfishers down here. The park's just an extravaganza of wildlife. It's just supreme. I really love this park. We might hit the road soon. Back to the car. We did start a little bit later. It was probably about 1 o'clock. So looks like this bloke's back out on the track to say goodbye, caveman, and I'll see you on the next stop tomorrow. So beautiful eastern water dragon. Look, colorations are quite dull. He's quite an old eastern water dragon, this one. I've seen him down here for decades. He'd be quite old. And he's got to know me, I think, this guy. I'm going to just go past, mate. And I'm going to head back home and get some food, I think, on the next stop. What a mad day out on the Cumberland. How good was that brown snake? He just took a real liking to me. He said, caveman, I want to take chunks out of you. And I said, no thanks, I'm jumping back a bit. Because that's the last animal that you want to get bitten by in the Cumberland Plains. It's the second most deadly snake in the world, and you can see they can be aggressive if you even encroach in their personal space. So give them a wide berth, and yeah, just leave the old brown snakes with a wide berth. So let's get out of here, see what we can find tomorrow on the next stop. I'm going home to have dinner.